Hello, my name is David Webb and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble grandmaster and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. It's my opponent to go first, and I have a balanced rack with 4 consonants and 3 vowels. And it's the best set of 3 vowels. It's A, E and I. Duplicate letters are sometimes a problem, but actually duplicate F is usually okay. It may not feature in many bingos, but it is possible to score well. My opponent opens with 28 points. Now I've considered my rack. I can't see a 7-letter bingo, but I need to quickly look at the tiles in harem to see if I have an 8. Can't see anything through the H or the A. Or the R. And then finally the M, and I can't see anything through that. So I'm now looking to score well and leave a decent rack leave. A-E-R-T would be a good rack leave. That would mean playing the word I-double-F. And I can't see a way of playing that and scoring well. If I played tariff through the A of the first day of harem, it would score reasonably well, but it would leave A, E, and that would be an invitation to have vowel heavy racks. I'd really like to play off both of these Fs, because although duplicate F is not a problem, a single F and a duplicate F are both non-bingo-y combinations. But I'm struggling to see how I can play off both of them. I suppose I could play riff or tiff, slightly better. I think the R is a slightly better tile than the T. And that scores 22 points. So what's my T contributing to this? 5 points. Well, I think it's close, but T does enhance this rack leave. And I have Eurolite. But does it play anywhere? Well, I can't see anywhere for Eurolite, but I can play Ruralite through the R of harem. Do I have anything else? Filature is and faultier are the bingos through the F of if and now nif. But my opponent has blocked the R of haram, and neither of the F bingos would have played or do play anyway because of the position of the F. But I have 2 new bingos to consider in the P and the D of planned. And I also need to check whether Eurolite is now playable. And it's not. So is there anything through the D? I can't see anything. So I'm now considering the P. I can't see anything there either. Okay, there is an N, the second N of planned, which is vaguely available. Now, there's antler, retinula, and tenurial. There may be one other, but none of the ones I've mentioned actually goes. So reluctantly I'm going to have to abandon my hunt for a bingo and play off some tiles, and it's going to be difficult to score given that all my tiles are one-pointers. I ought to give consideration to taking out the triple word square at 08, but I'm certainly not going to hang on to my U. Well, that's quite tricky. Gosh, this is tough. This isn't a great play because it leaves an excess of vowels on my rack, but EIR is quite a nice set of letters. And having kept an excess of vowels that has now been compounded, I have 5 vowels on my rack. Through a floating T I would have etuadi, but the T of halt is not available. I can play Euro in column 8, making DE. Well, maybe UOI is even better. I think it is. UOI keeping DER. That restores the appropriate balance of consonants to vowels. And that's 19 points. I now have quite a good rack, but do I have a bingo? UOI has only provided vowels as floaters, and that doesn't really help me with a 4-vowel rack. I have aneroid as a 7. So does aneroid play anywhere? I don't think it does. Douanier plays through a U, but neither of the U's are in the right place for that word. And my opponent has changed, which is a shame. I was hoping he might provide an opening for aneroid. The other floaters to consider are the P and the L of planned. MI takes an A in front, but I can't see the bingo beginning with L. And I can't see anything using the P of planned. So this is proving rather frustrating. How can I resolve this rack? And by resolve I mean score something half decent and leave a decent leave, because I am very close to a bingo. I'm just considering the F of NIF to see if I've missed anything through that. If the O was an E, I would have the letters for Fredane. I'm thinking about iron. ADER is a good leave. Iron 12 points is not good. But is there something better? I do have the row in row H on top of the F of NIF, stretching out to the triple word square at H15. But if I played, for example, inroad, or slightly better, ordain, I've wrecked my rack. But I think the score justifies that. That, I think, is a 30-point play, and that's way better than a 12-point play. So ordain 32 points. I keep the E. It goes well with the floaters on the board. I think this is better. This looks a reasonable rack. I can't see a 7-letter word. Through a V I would have Verdello. I'm just looking at the floaters in ordain to see if I have an 8-letter bingo. And I can't see one. I've got a very slim lead at the moment, just 24 points, and the board is quite open. And with my opponent's last move of changing just 3 tiles, he's probably kept 4 very good ones, so he could be about to play a bingo. And there it is, Neoteric. And he's used the first blank. So what should I do with this rack? I do need to satisfy myself that I haven't got a bingo. And I think I have satisfied myself of that. Now this should be fairly easy to sort out as a rack, because I can put the H here, I can play the E here, and that's a 28-point play. Can I improve that? Oh yes. Oh no, I can't. I was thinking about playing hired, but I don't have the I. It would be nice to play a 5-letter word stretching down to the double word square at N14, and I was looking at words ending ED, but I would want the H to be on the triple letter square where it is now. So that would force the E to be where it is, because OT isn't a word. Well, I hope I haven't missed a 5-letter word in this spot. My rack leave isn't great. The L and the O are not great tiles. I think that's okay. And this is another very close to being a bingo rack. But do I actually have one? Oleander and Reloaned are both, through the A of Ordain, are both blocked by my play of HE. Gosh, I'm a bit short on time. I've got 8 minutes left and there are 45 tiles in the bag, so I need to pick up the pace a little bit. This is one of the problems of having racks which look good. One is reluctant to forego a bingo because it's an expensive blunder. But I am behind now by 60 points. I could do with opening the board. And that isn't going to achieve that. Now, can I play anything down from A8 to open up the board at the top? Well, I've got Redone. I don't really like keeping the L. But 28 points is nice. And that's quite a good pickup. It's balanced and I've got the Z for score. Do I have a bingo? Triazole, I have a triazole through the R of Redone. That's useful. And it's not blocked. Excellent. My opponent's going further into the lead with Curviest, but Triazole keeps pace with him. Now I notice that, I note that Curviest takes an S in front. And I've drawn a good rack. Cognized doesn't quite fit in because it's blocked by Haram. Can't see anything through the O and the I of Uoi. I'm only 30 points behind, but my opponent's on move, so I'm now 60 points behind. I've got dingoes. But nowhere to play it, nothing through the D of Ordain. So do I use the S in front of Curviest or do I keep it for a bingo? There's not many opportunities for bingos ending in S. I can get about 40 points. I think I'm going to play it straight away. Except I'll then be opening up the triple lane in column 1. So I'm not going to do that. Dog should score reasonably. 23 points and the leave is good. Ooh, I Draw a blank and the cue. Question through the O of redone and through the O of UI. Excellent. I don't think I have anything using the S front hook of curviest, but there are two S's out there, so perhaps I can play question and draw an S and really come back into this game. I'm 40 points behind at the moment. I've got under 5 minutes on my clock. There are 19 tiles in the bag and 7 on my opponent's rack. I'm looking to see if there's a better bingo than question. As a 7, right, my opponent has blocked the higher scoring place for question. No, he doesn't. The lower one does actually stretch to the double word square. That's handy. My opponent scored just 20 points for Crave, so I think question will, for 86 points, should give me a slight lead. I don't draw one of the remaining S's, but I do draw the J. Certainly not a bingo rack, but with the J and the P and 4 vowels I ought to be able to score well. I've got jig underneath question. I've also got Joe above the A of ordain, so I'm looking for about 30 to 40 points with this rack, and I'm nearly 30 points ahead. I can play Joe here, and that's 36 points. Is there a better spot? It'd be quite nice to play off more tiles to draw the S. There are 4 tiles in the bag. Well, that's 36 points. Jog and Ger is 40 points, and although ordinarily retaining 3 vowels on a 4 rack leave is bad, in this instance it's okay because looking at the remaining tiles, there are only 2 vowels left. Great, I draw the S and I draw one of the vowels. Look at the tiles that are left. My opponent has got only 1 vowel, although the Y can perform some of the functions of a vowel. I'm 30 points ahead. If he doesn't take the curviest extension to scurviest, I will take that spot, and that should be a good score. So if I played swap and scurviest, that would be 46 points. Oh, denied. My opponent's got BSK left on his rack. He can play Bosque through the O of redone. Has he got a second out? Bosque or Cobbs? That doesn't score very much. If I played ISO, that scores 36 points, which would put me 34 points ahead. I'd lose 18 on count back, so my opponent would need to score 16 to win. Bosk or Cobbs only scores 9. So ISO may be worth playing. Certainly stops my opponent from sticking the S in front of curviest. But does he have another out that I haven't considered? I don't think he does. Well, let's find out. I can go out with power in column 12, making Po and Ager. I'm not sure I have another spot to go out. But if my opponent plays Cobbs or Bosk, I won't have the opportunity. Okay, that's that. He scores 10. I click pass, and I win the game. 399 to 393. A very close game, a win by just 6 points. Let's have a look at the history of the game and see what I missed. There wasn't a bingo, but I did have a double-double through the first day of Haram. This was my Ruralite rack. No bingos there. But there was Unreal at J6. Running along underneath Myth, that would have been nice. No missed bingos on this rack. And Ordain was the highest scoring play with that rack. Wow, no missed bingos here. Hero was an option, but it didn't extend down to the double letter square. Double word square at N14 rather. Redone, that was the move I played. And this was the triazole play. Wow, I could have scored more at I3 playing Zoil and Zag. Gosh, I really didn't look for that. I don't think there would have been a great deal of difference between the plays. There was only a difference of 3 in score, but possibly Zoil would have been better. This was another good bingo-y rack. Did I miss something? Oh, indigos. Indigos at A5, that would have been very nice. Okay, so I missed a bingo there. Dog I played instead. Oh dear. Now this was the question. Play, was there something better? Well, there wasn't something better, but there was another bingo in Quiets on the bottom row. Jap was playable at K13. That's the same spot as I played Jog, and I think retaining the P was better than retaining the G. Probably not much in it. Now this is when I played ISO. And I could have played So-I for 48. Well, that would have made really sure of the game. Yes, that's a better play than ISO. 12 more points. But a tricky one to spot. And then my opponent goes out, and that's the game done. Well, I did miss indigos, which is a shame, but bingo misses are a hazard of playing Scrabble. I think that was a very interesting game. I had a lot of racks which were near bingos. Ordinarily you get some of those racks, but I think on this occasion I had many of them, and my opponent played very quickly. He only used 7.5 minutes of his time, and that put me under a lot of time pressure. So it's important to watch out for how quickly your opponent's playing, because if he'd used his full 20 minutes, that would have given me an additional 12 minutes of thinking time. Maybe I would have spotted indigos. Anyway, who knows. I hope you enjoyed this video. My name is David Webb, and this has been a video for Dweebovision.